as we try to do from time to time, I'm desperate, and I'm determined, not desperate, I'm determined not to lose sight of the fact that our neighbors over in East Tennessee, our neighbors over in Western North Carolina, they are still picking up the pieces. They are still very much in a fragile state of existence in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Thank God the state of Florida was well prepared for Hurricane Milton, and Milton did not exacerbate the already pre-existing situation that has made life quite tenuous for many people in Western North Carolina. We've been talking to Steve Antel, who is our go-to guy. He lived in Nashville for any number of years, and he is now back in Fairview, North Carolina, which is a suburb of Asheville. And we've been talking with him, and it's time to check back in with Steve to see what's going on this day and what happened over the weekend. Steve, thank you for being back with us. How are you, sir?
Thanks, Matt. We had a big weekend. If you're following my Facebook. But anyway, today I'm at Lowe's getting ready to go in here and cut a deal with my good manager in Arden, North Carolina, to get some shelving to put in the trailers that we got from Mr. Meisler. From Meisler Trucking, from Brent Long, and from B&W Trucking out of Burlington, North Carolina. We're still, trying to deal with space issues. We're pretty much chock full right now. The pipeline's full. The warehouse is filling up down in Greenville. And so now the concentration is trying to get stuff out to people, let people know where we're at, what we have, and if they can't get to us, then I'm lining up routes of transport to them. You asked about this past weekend. We had a big adventure Sunday. I had a Fox News reporter, a friend of mine, Audrey Conklin, who had a interview set up with Jesse and Mackenzie Craig up in Craigtown. And wouldn't you know it, we hit it at a time when the power company had all the roads in and out of the area completely blocked. Couldn't get our cars in. So we ended up, I ran into some out-of-state Maryland police and firefighters. These are guys who had already finished their designated mission, but they stayed on, voluntarily. Their departments gave them leave. And so they're still up here now, not doing their original work, but doing just doing physical work. And these guys loaded us all on their four-wheelers and their razors, and I managed to talk the cop and the electric company into letting us squeeze by, and there's video of it. But we managed to get up there, do the interview, and I watched the interview be done, and we did a walking tour. And I encourage anybody, if you have the Fox app, if you go to the Fox website, it's on a national Fox website, Audrey Conklin, and it's about Jesse and Mackenzie Craig. Everybody needs to watch this, because this is the heart of the matter. And it's not just them, but they're getting the focus because he lost 11 members of his own family, including both his parents. So everybody needs to, find that link and watch that story. Another one that was sent to me by somebody else, and I think I tagged you or sent it to you, was a Sean Ryan episode 138, about some guys that are special operators from Florida that came up to help, and some of the problems that they ran into with local authorities here while they were trying to help. So, but that being said, we're doing good.
Well, hold on a second, because I want to make sure that people understand the story that you're talking about. We have to catch some folks up if they're not aware, and many are, because we've been trying to keep people up to date on this. Mackenzie and Jesse. Jesse lost both of his parents, two of his cousins, his aunt, his uncle, his great aunt, and uncle in a mudslide down a single path through the Craigtown Valley. And that's probably, what is that from you? That's got to be a stone's throw, right, Steve?
Yes. Yeah, it's just over a hill, basically a couple miles.
And 11 of his family members perished in one fell swoop. And Jesse and Mackenzie Craig are a testimony to the spirit of the United States of America and to the spirit of the South. And I did see their conversation with Fox News, and it is powerful because of just, obviously they're in mourning. They mourn the loss of their family members. They've lost, all of their earthly possessions to speak of, but they believe in moving forward, and the family nature and just the community spirit that surrounds them is it's powerful to see that level of godly spirit working through those people. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just great people, and Mackenzie's been my daughter's best friend since they were little kids, and we're related to the family through other routes, through multiple family trees that branch out there. But yeah, I mean they're the epitome of what's going on. But we got a lot of other people, and like Jesse was emphasizing in that interview, like the GoFundMe account that they have for them is going nuts, and that's great. But Jesse was quick to tell the reporter and us that, that money's for that area. It's for that tight-knit group of people. It's not for just the Craig family. And there's a lot of Craigs up there that don't have the last name Craig, but they got wiped out.
Right.
So, and I also posted, I know people are, asking, like exactly where we're at. So I made a map the other night, and I posted it on my Facebook. So if you need to know where all these places are that I'm always talking about, that'll give you an idea of the layout, how you get in, and how to get out, and how to get around.
What is the world? I mean, it's been 20 days thereabouts. I think almost 19 days. You got an opportunity. You spent the first night at home the last a couple of nights ago, where you actually had a night off. Which congratulations!
Last night, yeah.
Congratulations for you, Steve, in finally getting an evening off. It feels to me like we're getting, structurally, we're getting a little bit of a better foundation under the rebuilding process, the recovery process. Is that a fair assertion?
Yeah, and that's something I wanted to talk to you about. And this was the main reason why I wanted to talk, because I can't put my finger on what I'm about to say. I'm just saying it's a feeling that I have. And I have a feeling that as people, both here in the area, like Asheville in general, Western North Carolina, the people that are starting to get stuff back, power, water, cable, whatever, they're starting to get back into their lives. They're having to go back to work because their bosses want them there and so forth. And there's just a feeling that things are people are so wanting to go back to normal. And even myself last night, I'm sitting there watching a baseball game, and I'm like, feeling like I really need to be doing something. So I pick up my phone and I start, trying to do all the stuff that I couldn't do, putting some videos together and whatnot. And, but I feel like I don't want people to let go, because for me, when I come down here to town where I'm at now, it's like the regular world. And I want people to remember that when I go up to Craigtown or wherever late, I'll be up at Nesbitt Chapel later, you get jerked right back to what has happened. And the more time that goes by, the more that's going to be prevalent, even for people, even in our own churches and our communities. People are just, they're wanting so much to go back to the way it was, but we can't let people lose focus. If that makes sense, I don't know. It's just a gut feeling that I've had. So, and that started a couple of days ago. Part of it, and I get it, Steve, and you're living through it. I'm not here to tell you anything that you don't already know, but the world moves fast. We've got an election coming up, and there's just the media cycle is so immediate, and it moves on. That we can easily, and one of the reasons I just feel strongly compelled to have you as kind of our agent, our witness on the ground in Fairview and in the surrounding communities is because I don't want to forget, and I want to make sure that we understand that there are people that are still suffering, that are still picking through debris, that are still living in hotel rooms, that don't have anything, in terms of worldly possessions any longer because the hurricane swept them all away. Those people will need our continued support. The federal government, we cannot rely on them. Even the state government in North Carolina, I don't know how effective they've been, but we can rely on communities and churches and charitable organizations to do the work that we ought to be doing. And it's one of the reasons I feel so strongly about keeping this connection going. Yeah, and so I get the same thing every day. People contacting me, what do you need, what do you need, what do you need? And I keep telling them the same thing. The needs change constantly. I was just talking about this with Debbie and Rick, who drove up from Atlanta with the heaters and stuff today. We were having a discussion standing in the parking lot. It's getting to the point now where things that are needed, really, it's going to come down to money. And I'm not talking about money to me. I'm talking about money in general, money to the GoFundMes. Money to the churches, cash, people that are going to need stuff, but we don't know what they're going to need. If I tell somebody I need X, Y, Z today, and I need all you can get of it, well, I might not need all of that a week from now. I might need something else. So, obviously, like the heaters and the stoves and stuff like that, I'm not worried about the more the merrier on that stuff, because the winter's going to be here for months. But, there's only so much other stuff we can take, and so we're just chock full. I don't want to tell people don't donate.
That's a great thing, by the way. It's a great thing that you're full, and it's a great thing that you're letting us know. Because, I get it. You need what you need, but once you have enough of it, you don't want to dissuade people from giving, but at the same time, you need to tell people.
Yeah. If they want to give, the people that have reached out to me, if they want to continue to give through myself, that's fine. I'm going to keep doing what I can do until I can't do it anymore. If they want to give money direct to families, look up the GoFundMes for this area. There's a lot. If they want to do through the church route, do that. I did an interview yesterday, a Zoom call while I was out at Nesbitt Chapel with your local Fox channel there, WZTV or whatever it is.
We call it, Fox 17. Fox 17.
Yeah,
that's right.
Karen Sanchez was the reporter. So that'll be coming out in your market only. Maybe tomorrow or the next day. She's supposed to let me know. But, I was telling her, because she was asking, what do people need? And I was trying to explain what I just told you. It's ever-changing. So financial is starting to become more prevalent. And, I got a text from a guy just a little bit ago. I won't say the insurance company, but his homeowners is not going to cover it for a lot of this damage. And so he's on our local page, asking for help. He needs $1,500, a couple grand, to do this work on his house that got flooded, and so it's going to be stuff like that. It's not going to be I need diapers and I need bottled water. It's going to be people that they can't get help through the normal channels or their insurance or whatever.
I'm sorry to cut it short, yes. But really quickly, have you heard any report? There was a report online, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. I've not been able to corroborate any of it. It sounds fantastical. It sounds untrue. But a woman by the name of Dr. Molly James, who has a considerable following and claims to be a surgeon, who says that she's on site, claimed that in Avery, North Carolina, 15 people died overnight due to hypothermia. Have you? I don't know anything about
it, but I'm not discounting it because they're a long way from us.
Well, I understand that they're much north. They're way north of Asheville. Yeah. I'm just, I can't corroborate this in any fashion. It seems unbelievable, but I'm choosing to believe the unbelievable until proven otherwise. But Steve you can be found on Venmo at Steve-Antel. It's Antle, and you can find him on Facebook as well. Steve will check in with you over the next couple of days. Keep the faith, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Take care. This is Steve Antel.